Well, that was unexpected. I'm going to try to keep this video short because my voice is kind of shot from coming back from my vacation. But I did not expect James Harden to opt into his contract, the last year of his deal, to work out a trade with the 76ers. And I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I guess I'll try to keep it brief. But first of all, just reacting as a fan, I'm kind of glad that this option exists now, because I don't know how I would have been watching next season running it back with this same team. As much as I thought the James Harden Ben Simmons trade was the correct move to do, there was no way after watching Game 7 in Boston and then the last 5 minutes of Game 6 against the Celtics that you could come to the conclusion that running it back was the correct move. It just would have left fans checked out, I assume. Definitely me, knowing that they were just going to be a good regular season team and then, just flame out in the second round while James Harden just craps himself in a few games and just get a low energy type team. Nick Nurse makes things interesting, but knowing that your second best player kind of has some of the same temperaments as your best player, just personality wise, they couldn't run this back. It shakes things up. It makes things interesting now. And everybody has reported that the Clippers are involved. Jake Fisher reported that the Clippers are also talking about doing a separate Tobias Harris deal. Woj has reported that the Knicks are involved as well. So it seems like there are a few options out there. And let me just say this is the last trade Morey needs to knock out of the park, because this is like the last remaining asset, I guess. And with the new CBA rules and teams looking to unload long-term contracts, this is kind of the perfect storm for Daryl Morey to get something for Harden, maybe a little bit more than what you would have expected under the old CBA market. But I'm having delusional thoughts of Paul George. Mark Stein reported recently that the Clippers have broached the idea. I don't want to misrepresent what he reported, but it sounds like the Clippers, based on a lot of reports I've been reading, are at least mulling it over or thinking about it, or at least it's on the periphery. So maybe Paul George is available and the Clippers still want a star player for their new arena, but they also want to shake things up because I believe this is going to be the fifth season this upcoming year, the fifth season of a Kawhi and PG led team. And you plug in the trade machine, a trade of Tobias Harris and James Harden for Paul George, Norm Powell, and Robert Covington would work, or Marcus Morris would work if you sub one of those two out. But more realistically, probably something like Norm Powell, Robert Covington, and Terrence Mann, or something like that. But Brian Windhorst was on PTI about 30 minutes ago and said that Dame Lillard might be a possibility if the Sixers could trade James Harden to LA and then use all those assets to then trade to the Blazers. But I don't know how realistic that is. You know how crazy rumors are nowadays. But if they somehow get Paul George, if they somehow are able to pivot out of this, then now I am interested. Now I am back. Now Daryl Morey, I know now Daryl Morey is definitely thinking. He has a lot more, moves in mind. I mean, Shams reported, and look, I'm assuming that this is from the Harden side of things, but Shams reported that the Sixers let them know throughout the entire process that they were not interested in bringing James Harden back. Or the wording was they did not see a long-term future with Harden, because I'm assuming Harden was looking for that 4-year deal, that big money. But thank God the Sixers were smart in this. I made a video a few weeks back or a month back about why the Sixers shouldn't bring Harden back. If it was on a 2-year deal with a lot of money, I guess I would have been fine with it contract-wise, although I would have vomited running back the same team. But now this makes things interesting. Now I know that Tyrese Maxey is finally going to get the reps he deserves, because I am a believer in Tyrese Maxey. If you somehow get a bunch of wings around Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey to go along with PJ Tucker, and now Paul Reed just got the qualifying offer from the 76ers, which means he's a restricted free agent and they can match whatever he wants. Now Nick Nurse has a few wings to play with, to scheme around with in his defense, and that makes things super exciting. I never really got the sense that Nick Nurse was a Harden guy. I'm sure he would have loved to coach him, but just based on his introductory press conference and what he didn't say, my ears kind of perked up a bit. I mean, now we got our answer, and it'll be interesting to see how the Sixers retool around this, because this is the last asset to do a big pivot outside of trading for Tyrese Maxey, and I don't think that's going to happen. Man, I cannot wait to see Tyrese Maxey get more on-ball reps. It's going to be really exciting. Now that we got a new coach and Morey has his guy, because remember, Doc Rivers was hired before Daryl Morey was brought on to be president of basketball operations. Now that the vision's aligned and Morey can now go with his plans without, pushback from maybe an old school mindset in Doc Rivers, this is going to be exciting. I know this video will probably age poorly because the trade will happen soon, I'm assuming, but I just wanted to get my reaction out there. This was the pivot I did not expect. I know there were rumors, a month ago that, Phoenix could maybe trade for Harden, but nobody knew how that was going to happen, or that, Harden to LA was a thing. But now it's in the realm of possibility, so we'll see what happens.